Welcome to the ripple effect of love for dads and families. And being present is the greatest gift you can give your family. So, in episode 9 today, learn how to use the Snap Tap Zap to stay grounded, calm, and fully engaged in the moments that matter the most. As parents, we have lots of challenges to deal with. And I have found that the easiest way is to self regulate myself. Because when you self regulate, your life transforms. And I know this may sound a little odd or weird for some of you. However, in the moment, when we are triggered, how do we just pause? How do we stop, slow down, and not get into the chaos? We've been talking about this in our theme of self love and feeling lovable. Hmm. When we talk about feeling lovable, what does that mean to you? You can share that in the chat. I'll answer the questions later on when I can. I haven't figured out all the tweaks here, but doing my best. And oh, I have a special guest here in the waiting room. Yay, good thing I noticed that. So let me bring him in. We have a dad of 4 who has been using the Snap Tap to calm the amygdala down and zap to release it out. So, welcome, Christian. I'm excited to be chatting with you again. I have some viewers that really like the dynamic that we have between us and how it supports the dads who are trying to step into self love a little bit more, right? And it's doing it one baby step at a time. Some of us are perfectionists and we want to do it all right now. And we think we can just snap like that and yay, I have my new life. However,
Let's pause that. Let's pause that. Let's pause
go
that
for it.
because you brought two things. One, baby steps. So I know a lot of folks, and again, we're gonna go from the macho, and maybe you guys, we appreciate every one of you that is listening, supporting. Get involved, get active, breathe for yourself, snap, tap, zap for yourself because we need it, you need it, I need it, and you deserve it and that love. So these are things that I just hear. And so I'm going to point out. And as we kind of get more going, I want this back and forth Regis and live. I really want it, even though we're detached this internet world and this technology, we want to really make it that way. So we're going to do less muting and more conversations and a lot more interactive because one of the beautiful things that I'm seeing is that, and I didn't know, and I haven't looked at the analytics. And yes, you're saying, Christian, you're marketing and all of that in the analytics. No, 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 no. None of that is the important part here. Are truly self regulating, loving ourselves, loving you for who you are, stepping into that. That's truly what we're here to do.
Yes.
And it's a life. It truly is a life changer. I just gotta mention it, and I just had a client reach out that it went non-communicative for a certain period of time and dealing with life and different things. Now she had an urgent matter, and she comes in, so I go. I would normally react, and I see even and I felt it, and
Yeah.
probably Christine can tell you, but it just I felt it, and so I go, and then I had to communicate with my boss, which is my wife, right? And so I go, okay, and this was also on the way to drop offs. So we've got drop offs, we got the wine, we got business, we got clients. So again, I understand it all. And if I wouldn't have had my 5 minutes this morning, and again, this just goes through because I I'm reading, I'm breathing, and I'm going. I can't change what people pay, when they pay, bills, invoices, when they go out, when somebody does. They're overspending, they're underspending, their priorities. I can't. What I can do is control who affects me, who throws things at me, and I playfully go, nah, knock that down, knock that down. But because now I'm playful, because now I'm present, because now I am in control. And I say, I choose, I choose what I want today and
Yes.
how I'm going to react to everybody today.
Yes. It is a choice. It's not always an easy one.
That's it.
However challenging it is, sometimes we're in a bit of a rough spot, and it's better to say, I will deal with this tomorrow. And it's okay to tell our children, right now, I can't deal with this. I need to get present, grounded, and I'll come and see you in your bedroom in a few minutes. And if you have teenagers, okay, this one is really cool. I had no idea this would work. It just came out and it ended up working. When my son was a teenager, of course, he was taller, stronger, and everything. And I said to him, I want you to go to your room. He says, make me. I said, fine. I'll just go to mine. Well, that was the best thing that I had done, because when I got to my room, I chose not to rant and rave. I chose to take a book, read a book that would calm me down. I did not have Snap Tap Zap, and maybe I could have used it in the moment, self-regulated, and dealt with the situation. But the fact that I was able to remove myself. You won't go to your room? Fine, I will. Guess who came knocking down my on my door about 15 minutes later? Mom, are you okay? Instead of the hormonal teenager that had been disappointed for XYZ reason, I had my son back, the one that's got a beautiful heart.
Hmm.
He did, and he does, and he did even though he was going through his waves of teenage hormones and, doing his best to find his identity. And that's why year-olds and teenagers have a lot of ups and downs, more than most different age levels, is they're trying to figure out their identities. And how can we help them? Snap, breathe. I remember my daughter coming and yelling at me because she didn't have the right basket for her laundry. And it had nothing, today I know it had absolutely nothing to do with the basket and the laundry. It had to do, she needed to let frustration out. And she knew, now this is very important, she knew that I would love her anyway. So she dumped her frustrations on me. She was unable at the time, she was 16, to tell me what was going on. I later found out. However, when I look back, I've apologized since then to her, but when I look back, and oh, this is something, it's never too late to apologize to your
Oh,
children. Never, ever, ever. It is always the perfect time to say, "Ooh, I was in a terrible spot yesterday when this happened, and if you need to wait a day, I was in a terrible spot, and this is okay."
that's another gold piece there. That
Yes.
because you accept things for what they are, without needing to change them, and just saying, "Hey, I'm not going to deal with this right now. I will choose a time later. And maybe, as Christine mentioned, is we need breathing, or maybe we just need to process, or we need to think about it, whatever, writing about it. So, I the second thing that came to mind when we were saying, and this is wildly important, especially for parents, or really for a lot of us adults, is the
Yes.
being right does not mean you will be happy.
Oh, I love that you bring that point up. And actually, it's not about being right.
Yeah.
It's about loving yourself enough to hold the space for those around you to feel safe, safe enough to be able to share what's going on. So if I go back to what my daughter was attempting and unable to say at that point in time, self regulate, relax, breathe, giving that tool, no matter what age your child is. If they don't want to learn it, it's okay. They don't have to. However, if you're learning it and you're learning to self regulate in the moment, the calmer you are, the calmer the space around you, the more the person with you. Yesterday, I had a beautiful testimonial. The lady says, it's like more than friendship. It's like, it's this space where it was just safe to say and be myself. Yeah, that's what we're creating, a safe space for our children. When they see us self regulating, when our spouse sees us self regulating, they know we're working on, I want to stay calm in this moment. I'm triggered and I am doing everything I can right now to stay calm. Things can be, sometimes the snap, tap, zap won't be enough and we need to remove ourselves. Do that. Evaluate. But usually, if you're doing the snap, tap, zap, you're able to calm that amygdala, that survival mode that got triggered enough to start using your prefrontal cortex, enough to be able to say something that makes a lot more sense for the situation to move forward in a more
That's it. That's it. That's
in
it.
a
That's it.
more what kind of more joyous, more
That's it. That's it.
possibility.
Joyous. Yes. Communication. That clear communication and exchange of value. They
Yes,
want to feel valued. You want
yes,
to feel valued. They
yes,
want to be heard. You need to be heard as the parent. And that's where I was kind of wanting to, because
yes,
we
yes,
say, well, Christine, you went to your room instead of sending your kid to your room. Well, well, yeah, I wouldn't do that. You're right. Because I'm going to choose self regulation, because
mhm,
my knee jerk reaction would have been to stomp or to yell and to say, get to your room. That
mhm,
is no, that's what they're expecting.
mhm,
That,
yeah.
yes, congratulations. We're going to do the knee jerk reaction that they've expected, but that's not going to change us. That's not going to change the joy. That's not going to make them feel. It's not going to make you feel heard.
So I love how you say that, Christian, because really what they're trying to do is to get our attention.
That's
And they're
it.
doing it in a negative way because somehow along the way we would give them attention when they screamed, when they yelled, when they had their temper tantrum. And they have, children are very smart. And if you have smart kids, they are testing you.
Mhm.
They're testing you because they are smart. So be proud of their smartness, but don't get triggered. Outsmart them. Oh, I love this. Outsmart them by self regulating. And if it means removing yourself from the situation, nicely say, right now, I can't deal with this. I love you and I love myself enough to remove myself from this so that we can deal with this in a calmer manner. Maybe we can go out for supper, you and I, and have a conversation because a restaurant, A public place is a safe place for the child. They know you're not going to get up and rant and rave and, so it helps them be willing to open up. There's so many different little strategies.
Well, and that's beautiful. I think with time and everything to get effectiveness is I think these are the small things we're talking about. These are little, multiple different things that you look for. But let's go back to the consensus, and it's a communication
Mhm.
that has to work both ways.
Yes.
We have to understand, and I've heard of cues. So I started with my little ones because I'm always out and about with them. I truck forward with them because that's just what I need to make myself feel comfortable is my kids around all the time.
Mhm.
So I say, if I'm having a conversation and you need my attention, hold your hand up. And so
Yes.
now we've said now we do the tap
Mm.
because I know that as they're sitting there waiting, and again, knee jerk reaction. So before,
Yeah.
hold on, hold on, daddy. So I understand their curiosity. I understand that my need for, hey, as a child, I need information. I need to be made feel safe right now. That's
Yes.
it.
Yeah. In the
And
instant.
how do I communicate that? Yes, as a baby, remember, you say, well, don't be a baby. And that's the one thing that triggered me. You say, well, baby steps. Well, I'm not a baby, so why am I taking baby steps? I want to get this done. That's exactly why you are here. Time for you and
Yes.
to say there are going to be times and when the kiddos are playing, sit down with them and just throw yourself into those Legos or toys or soldiers or Barbies or whatever it is and watch. But before we get there, yes, go ahead.
Just a sec. Watch, observe, see how they're interacting. You will be able to pick up the challenges they're having at school if you observe them. Are they taking all the Lego just for them? And I know some 17-year-olds that still love those advanced Lego. And this teen sits with his dad when things aren't going well. Dad says, "Oh, I need to go do some Lego with them." And they build, they're building cities and, they're way out there. This 17-year-old might be an architect, right?
Yeah,
Who knows
yeah.
where he's going to end up. Uh, But the point is, if you can sit, be present, and observe, observe. Ask questions that help them develop their thinking and observe. Be present. If you can't be present, snap, breathe in, relax, and exhale. And today's children, and so are we now, used to the instant gratification.
Hmm.
So, building that emotional resilience is so important. And self regulation allows the child's emotional resilience, emotional intelligence to be raised. Studies have shown this. I worked with a 3.5-year-old who hadn't slept for 2 years. Mom had tried all the strategies. She'd gone to the doctor, the CLSC, I don't you wouldn't know what that is in certain countries, but anyway, support systems and everything, and she just won't sleep. So, worked with her, and it was very interesting. Within a couple of sessions, her brother, who's 2 years older than her, they went out to play, and they came back in arguing, and the little girl, who was younger, 2 years younger than the brother, said, "I know why he's angry. I got dressed before him and went outside before him for the first time." Mm. Isn't that emotional intelligence? She was able to be present and observe. Before working with me, there's no way she could have done this. She was just in survival mode with her brother. So,
I'll really quickly jump in and say last night it just happened. Uh, Fabulous dinner, supper, whatever you want to call it, meal. And we've come from a very poor um, childhood. So for us, we were raised to eat different. Even the eating. This is why I mentioned this. That these are triggers that can happen, and these are
yeah,
things that we don't identify or see right away.
yes,
So when we have something for food, we would say, "You can sit and eat it. You smile and eat it, and be happy. And that's it. You don't complain." And anyway, so we'll leave the rest of the story for another time. But let me help understand, folks. When you turn down food in my house, it used to be a big problem. So much so that it'd be an argument. So
mm,
last night I came in a little bit later than with work, and so my kids aren't eating this wonderful dinner and supper, and I'm just like, oh, I wish I could take a bite. And they're going, we don't really. And the wife's going like, what's going wrong with the kids? And I don't know what's going on. So I just stopped and I'm looking at them and I'm asking them, and you want some mayo? You want to add some things? And so I'm asking my wife's I see her getting a little bit frustrated with
yep,
this whole situation because she just worked on
yes,
4 meals individually and made her. So I said, hey, let me taste it. And yes, I wanted to taste, but delicious. I said, well, maybe let's take out one piece of the meat and maybe that'll give it a different taste. Well, one of them worked that way. The other one didn't. So he was happy. Oh yeah, this tastes better. And so I go, and I go to the next one. I go, maybe. Well, she's getting upset. Well, no, maybe he likes it. He likes it with this. I get it, and so do I. Absolutely. But maybe let's put some mayo on yours. So his wasn't to take out the meat. His was to put on mayo. The third one was something different. So all in all, if I would have been old dad and I
mhm,
would have come in and
yeah,
or really old family is
mhm,
you better eat what your mom is giving you and blah 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 and blah blah. And
yeah,
it would have been chaos. It would have been, whatever would have happened. I don't even remember why because I just choose not to. So I will say is, I chose to listen. I
yes,
chose to eat. They eat till they're full. There's a lot of things that we've listened to, and we've encouraged them to feedback, to give us feedback when they don't like something, to say something, and then we can change it or adapt to it or address it.
yes.
That's what.
And I want to give a tiny suggestion because I love what you're doing. I love how you're creating that space where they can express things. And even though for the cook it's quite challenging to have this happening, but these were tiny little easy solutions, right? And I'm sure dad was happy to have that extra piece of meat that the little one.
Turkey.
But I know, yeah, that you also have a 12-year-old, right, in your family? And maybe it's time for the 12-year-old and the younger ones too to help cook so that they understand all the work that goes behind it. And, you don't give the knife to the 6-year-old to cut things even though they want it, or if they do, you're really watching 100% present, or there's those special knives for kids. But you need to just how can I say this? My kids, okay, when they were teens, actually before they were teens, on Fridays, I was exhausted from teaching. They would prepare the supper, okay, with a movie. It was their job. When I'd go to the grocery store, they would come and they would choose, and they'd choose canned oysters, crackers, and those carrots that are all ready, and, it was a snack supper. Who cares?
That's it.
They were excited to put this out on platters and bring it to the couch and the table, the what is it called? The living room table, and have a great time. And together we'd relax, we'd enjoy. And I never dared say, I don't want to eat any more of this because I was just so excited and proud of them for doing things. However, when I go grocery shopping, I could eventually just say, I would prefer, let's try something new. Just let's try something new, because we also need to be honest, right? So it's not a game, but it's balancing it all out, right? Because we want to teach them to be honest, and we need to be honest.
Hmm.
So this was another amazing episode with so much. Be present. What are you doing today? And each day forward, take some tiny steps so that you can be present. If you haven't watched the prior episodes, please do. I am looking to start a private dads group and families. If your spouse wants to join, awesome. In 2025, we will be getting this all organized for you, your workbook, etc. Uh, Stress test, whatnot, lots of things happening and pulling together. So I'm very excited. And do you have a last
Yeah,
word?
I just quickly remind folks that right now we want to go ahead and make sure that we are around and surrounding our communities for those that are out there that may not understand or may not, or just are looking for it. There's got to be a better way. Yes, there is. Please share, please like, please follow. Definitely share it. Tap, share, tap, share, tap. You guys love to tap, tap, tap those phones. Just tap, tap, tap. Just share. We really want to be surrounding our communities. Christine just commented on a young man that lost his life at 20 years old.
Mhm.
A very sad situation.
Yeah.
We remind a reminder of these shootings and these horrific incidents and occurrences throughout the world. So be the leader, be the hero in who you are in your community and everything else. Start with yourself.
Yes.
And by equipping your air mask, you can then help others with their air mask. But again, this is free. TikTok, Facebook, join us, LinkedIn, wherever you guys find this. This is about support. Please share it with anybody that you think might need it or want it. And if they don't want it, that's okay. Do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Start with yourself. That's going to be the biggest impact. I know we're already running late. Thank you so much, folks. And we'll let Christine say goodbyes.
So be the ripple effect of love for your family and your loved ones and your community. You can do it. If I can, you can. Take care. See you for episode 10 tomorrow. 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, and I look forward to seeing you. You've got this. You can do this one baby step at a time. And what's the first thing that you want to do for you today? What is the first thing you want to do to create that ripple effect of love? Take care. See you tomorrow.